Good day, viewers. Good day, class. Right? We have this question from JAMB as we are treating JAMB question on differentiation and integration. This is a topic on differentiation and integration, and we are handling a class of differentiation question in the word JAMB and integration from year 2022 to year 2000. So by the time we cover that from year 2022 to year 2000, you might have covered 22 questions on theirs. Then there's no question that will come out from the integration or integration or differentiation in JAMB that you cannot handle. So there is a question for JAMB. So can we move ahead now? Then we have this question here. Then the question said, if y is equals to 3x sine x, find the y dx. And this is option they give us. So let's go into solution. Before we go into this, honestly, we have to look at this. Derivative of sine, which we call derivative of sine. If y is equals to sine u, what's the u? U is the angle of sine, which may be theta, which may be 2x, which may be 2x plus 4, which may be anything, but I know that whatever that is here is the sine, the angle of sine u. So this u can take any of these values, but I know it as what? The angle. So when I say, if I have y equals to sine u, if we are asked dy dx is equals to d sine u all over dx, because y is equals to this. If I remove this y put there, I will put the word sine u. Then this will give me differentiating the sine with the angle in respect to what? The angle is the u, in respect to the u, times differentiating the angle in respect to the what? The angle. And when we do that, what is going to give me? If I differentiate sine, it will give me cos u times differentiation of his what? His angle. This is what it means. That means, therefore, what it means that d sine u over du is equals to cos u times du over du. This is the main format. This is the format. Example. Let's see example. If y is equals to sine of 5x, find dy dx. Looking down here, I can now say here, that's what? Dy dx is equals to, that means I'm differentiating y in respect to what? The angle x. I'm differentiating y in respect to the angle what? X. I will now say d sine 5x over dx, which give me, remember what we said, I'm differentiating sine now. I will differentiate the sine. This will give me cos 5x times d 5x over dx. When I differentiate sine 5x, it will give me cos x times differentiation of his angle. Look at it. If you differentiate, come over here. If you differentiate this man, we are differentiating this man. It will give me differentiation of the sine with its what? Angle times differentiation of his angle in respect to the angle. And when I differentiate sine, it will give me cos times differentiation of his what? Angle. And that's what I summarize here to say differentiation of sine will give me cos times differentiation of his angle. Differentiation of sine will give me cos times differentiation of his angle. So looking at this, I'm differentiating this man. It will give me cos of that is angle times differentiation of his what? Angle. And differentiation of his angle, I remember that this will give me equals to cos 5x times differentiating this man will give me 1 times 5 x raised to power 1 minus 1. You remember, if I'm differentiating this man is raised to power 1, its coefficients will times this, then I remove 1 from it. That's what we call differentiation. Differentiation means destruction. For example, I said if y is equals to x raised to power n, dy dx is equals to dx raised to power n all over dx. And then my x had become n, which is the power, times x raised to power n minus 1. And that's what I did here. d5x all over dx will give me 1, this is power 1, times 5x raised to power 1 minus 1. And that's what we get. Then now, I will have this to be what? Cos 5x times 5x raised to power 0. Are you getting what I'm saying? Can I clean here so that we'll have a space? And this implies, and that implies that what? Cos 5x times 5 into 1. Because anything raised to power 0 is 1. Therefore, x raised to power 0 is 1. Then I will have that this man is equals to cos 5x times 5. And this 5 is not angle, so you cannot times this man. This 5 is not angle, you cannot times this man. So what we are going to have is 5 cos 5x, not cos 5 into 25x, because some people will say 5 times 5 25x. No, this ordinary number cannot times angle. It's not the angle, it's a what? A value. So you don't times it, so you don't make such a mistake. This is what it means. Then if we know this, now we go to the question they gave us. What is the question they gave us? Y equals to 3x sine x. They said we should find what? Find dy dx. So looking at this, y is a function of x, means that this y depends on x, means y is a function of what? X. And also this same y is a function of what? The same y is a function of angle. This y is function of what? Angle. The angle called what? X. Called x. The angle called x. Look at this y is a function of what? 3x. Are you getting what I'm saying? The same this y depends on the same what? Sine x. That means y depends on x and also depends on what? Angle. And these two things y depends on. Are you listening? These two things y depends on. What are they doing to themselves? They are multiplying themselves. These two things y depends on. What are they doing to themselves? They are multiplying themselves. They have explained to you that y depends on 3x. The same y depends on sine x. That means y depends on 3x and also angle of sine, which is x. So two of these two things y depends on are multiplying themselves. Since they are multiplying themselves, we will make use of what? Product rule. We have what we call product rule. Product rule. Let's see. Product rule. Remember that in calculus we have rules. And how many rules? 4 rules, which will have sum and different, product rule, chain rule, and function of function, which we are going to treat one after the other based on the question given to us. Today now, this question have bring us to what we call what? Product rule. And that says if y is equals to uv. In this case now, we now say that what? Dy dx is equals to duv all over dx. will give me, I will keep u, differentiate v in respect to what? X. Then plus, I will now keep v, differentiate u in respect to what? X. You see what I did? For this man to be function of u and v, this man is a function of u and v. In this case, what's the u? 3x. In this case, what's the v? Sine x. In this case, what's the u? 3x. In this case, what's the v? Sine x. So it's a function of u, v. And this u, v, what are they doing to themselves? They are multiplying themselves. Do you get me? This u, v, what are they doing to themselves? They are multiplying themselves, which represents 3x for u, sine x for what? V. We now say, if we have such a thing that we are going to drop u, differentiate v, then drop v, differentiate u in respect to what? X. Then now, in this question now, therefore, in our question which we have that y is equals to, the question they give us is equals to 3x sine x. What does it mean? It means that what? We are going to put it to be substituting it. Okay, let me just know. Substituting it. I will have that my dy dx is equals to d 3x sine x all over dx. And that will give me, keeping 3x, I'm differentiating sine what? X in respect to what? X. Then I will keep sine x, differentiate what? 3x in respect to what? X. So you see what I did? I have this. I'm differentiating these things, and two of them are multiplying themselves. I will drop this man, differentiate sine x, then plus dropping sine x, differentiate the other man. Let me clean up there for us to complete it. Let me clean up here to complete the process. Then now, what I have now is equals to 3x differentiating sine x in respect to what? X, plus I'm keeping sine x differentiating 3x in respect to what? X. Then what will I do now? Now I'm going to apply 3x differentiating d sine x, which is better in respect to what? Is angle, times differentiating its angle, which is what? X. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Plus sine x differentiating this man, I will have 1 times 3 x raised to power 1 minus 1. You remember what we did? Then now, here I will have that 3x differentiating sine will give me cos x, times differentiating this man will give me x, 1 times x raised to power 1 minus 1. As I differentiate this man, then I have plus this man now will be what? Sine x. Differentiating this will be times, this will give me 3x raised to power 0. Then what happened here? I will have this to be what? Equals to 3x into cos x times, this will give me x raised to power 0, plus this will give me sine x times 3 into 1. You remember that anything raised to power 0 is 1. You remember that? Anything raised to power 0 is 1. This will give me equals to 3x into cos x times 1, plus this will give me sine x times 3. And this will be equals to 3x, because 1 times cos will give me cos x. And that give me what? This cos x times 3. Give me 3x cos x, plus this time this will give me 3 sine x. This cannot be 3 times x. Remember, as I said it earlier, this cannot be 3 times what? X. It can be sine 3x. So this is not angle. So it's not going to times this man. Rather, it will multiply the value. So now, in this case, what we have as our answer, we have our answer to be what? This. Looking at the option here, we'll look at the first option. This is not the answer. We'll look to the second option. It doesn't match what we got here. We'll look to the third option, and we'll look to the fourth option. I believe that fourth option is the correct answer. You will not take this. So you see that the fourth option, option D, is what correct answer. We can answer the answer is what? D. The answer is D from our option. This is what we have now. This is the part 1. Then you look for part 2 of this till we get to 2022, which will clock up to 22 questions on differentiation. If you follow us gradually and grab the answers, JAMB repeat questions. JAMB doesn't have any other question rather than to repeat what they have given so far back of the year and the newly. So you don't need to bother yourself. Rather, follow us on this. You will be what? Set for JAMB. Thank you. Look for the next part 2. This is part 1. Look for part 2 of differentiation and integration. Remember to subscribe. Your subscription, because if you subscribe, as we post, anything we post, you'll be able to what? Grab it. Subscription is free. Thank you for liking this channel. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing it to your friends, because I know you share to your friends. Thank you. Now, let's look at the question, the second question. Let us look at the second question of the same year, which is question 34. Question on 34 to 16. Said, if y is equals to 2x raised to the power 3 plus 6x squared plus 6x plus 1, we should find dy dx. And the option is given to us. Who is going to say solution? This is solution to this. Solution, we say that what? Dy dx. What's the y? You remember? What is my y? My y is a function. Remember, what does it mean? Let me come to this. If I have y is equals to what? 2x raised to the power 3 plus 6x raised to the power 2 plus what? 6x plus 1. What does this mean? This means that y is a function of what? X. And is equals to what? 2x raised to the power 3 plus what? 6x raised to the power 2 plus 6x plus 1. Then, this means y is a function of x, means y depends on x. Then, if now we are asked to find dy dx, it means there is a war onto this function, and the only people that will survive it is people that contain x. Meaning that we are differentiating y in respect to what? X. We are differentiating y in respect to x. Means that y is a function of x, means this is the kingdom of y. And there is a war onto the kingdom of y. The only people that will survive that war is people that contain x. That's what we mean by dy dx. That's we are differentiating y in respect to x. Meaning there is a war onto the kingdom of y. And the only people that will survive it is only people that contain x. If you don't contain x, we are regarding you as a constant. If you don't contain x, we regard you as a what? Constant. And if we differentiate you, you will turn to what? 0, which is echelon. You get what I'm saying? So, if I say now, dx dv, what does it mean? It means that I'm declaring war onto the function of what? X. And it's only people that will survive it is people that contain v. If you didn't contain v, if I differentiate you, you will turn to 0. That means you are a constant. If I now say dx dt, what does it mean? It means that I'm differentiating the function x, and the only people that will survive that differentiation is people that contain what? T. If you contain t, you will survive. If you don't have t within you, that means you are constant. If I differentiate you, you will turn to 0. Let us look at this. So therefore, let me clear this. This means that dy dx is equals to d 2x raised to the power 3 plus 6x raised to the power 2 plus what? 6x plus what? 1 all over what? Dx. You get it? Then this can be split by saying d2x raised to the power 3 all over dx. And what is here plus? I put plus here, d6x raised to the power 2 all over dx. What is here plus? I put plus, d6x all over what? dx. What is here plus? I put plus, d1 all over what? dx. Well, let's move. And this will give me, if I'm differentiating this man, it will give me 3 times what? 2x raised to the power 3 minus 1. You remember? You remember? Then plus, I have what? This man, which is coefficient 2 times what? 6x raised to the power 2 minus 1 plus, this man become 1. This is power 1. This is x raised to the power 1 times 6x raised to the power 1 minus what? 1. Then what happened here? If I differentiate 1, does it has x? No. This 1 does not contain x. It does not contain x. So if I differentiate it, it turns to what? 0. Meaning that is a constant. Because the work was declared to what? X. The work to this function y was declared to what? X. So if you don't contain x, if I differentiate you, you become what? 0. That's all about it. It means that 1 is a constant. So if we differentiate a constant, it gives us what? 0. Then looking at it, this will give me 3 times 6 will give me 6x raised to the power 2, because 3 minus 1 plus, this will give me what? 12x raised to the power 1, and this will give me plus 6x raised to the power 0. Then coming over here, I will have that this become 6x raised to the power 2 plus 12x plus anything raised to the power 0. Come down here, look at here. This is x raised to the power 0. Anything raised to the power 0 is what? 1. Anything raised to the power 0 is 1. That gives me 6 into what? 1. And this will land me to 6x squared plus what? 12x plus what? 6. And that's my what? Answer. It means that dy dx is equal to 6x squared plus 12x plus what? 6. And that's the answer of that differentiation. If we go to the option, our answer, looking at the option, I find out that our answer is option what? D. Look at it, 6x squared plus 12x plus 6. And that's giving me that my answer is option D. Then remember, for more clarification, look at our format. If y is equals to what? X raised to the power what? N. Then dy dx will be given as dx raised to the power n all over what? Dx. And that gives me n times what? X raised to the power n minus 1. And that's the answer. That's the format. Remember, that's the format of what? Differentiation. This n can be any value, can be any power. This x can be anything. So if I have example y equals to what? X raised to the power 3, then my dy, my dx is equals to dx raised to the power 3 all over what? Dx, and is equals to what? 3 times what? X raised to the power 3 minus 1, and is equals to 3x raised to the power 2. So for more clarification, you look for my differentiation. You look for my differentiation in YouTube. If you do my channel, you look for what? Differentiation, or caption it, differentiation of what? Algebra. Differentiation of algebra. If you look at it, watch that differentiation of algebra. It give you the detail of how to differentiate, which we call elementary differentiation. So you'll be able to understand what we are doing if you didn't get this. Okay. So the next class you will understand it better. So look for part 2. This is the part 1. You will look for what? Part 2 of differentiation in JAMB, differentiation and integration in JAMB. But remember to subscribe. Your subscription is free. And why you are subscribing is because as we are posting, you'll be able to be notified. And the way you subscribe, you share to your friends, you comment, because your comment helps us to know whether are we imparting to you or not, and where to what adjust. So comment, give us a comment, like, and what share to your friend. Thank you.